What's up, all you minties? This is Omar, the Uncanny Omar, rather, and with me is Wonder Maddie. Um,
Hello.
Normally, at this time, we would be doing old reader, new reader, but because of certain things happening since yesterday, we wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening at DC Comics. Um, the very first thing I want to say is that my heart goes out to all those our heart rather goes
Yeah.
out to all those people that have been laid off and affected by this. um, there was a huge layoff at Warner Brothers, DC, and HBO. So across the board, we're looking at numbers of like 800 is what the Hollywood Reporter has reported. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this today was because I was being asked all day, like, what are my thoughts? And I know, like, I'm just a guy that makes videos. Uh, but I had been talking to people over there and building relationships with them. And yesterday afternoon, I got an email, a goodbye email from, and I'm not going to say any names because, it's their business.
Yeah.
And I don't, it's up to them to release whether they've been let go or not. But hell, the rumors are everywhere, so y'all can look. But it's not my
Right. Because we don't
responsibility to
know.
reveal names.
Yeah.
But one of my people that I was in contact with was like, I just wanted to tell you, it was a lot of fun getting to know you. I will no longer be at DC. And he also said there will be you'll be hearing a lot more later on everywhere. And that's when I was like, what's going on? So I got another message from another contact who's somebody that actually, I would go back and forth with in the collected editions department. And he said pretty much the same thing. We will not. I will no be not. I will no longer be at DC Warner Brothers Entertainment, and I just wanted to say goodbye. Take this time to say bye, and and I didn't know what to say. Right? Like I'm like, okay, that's two people. Like, I joke on this channel a lot about, damn it, my Man of Steel omnibus is not coming out. The things that I suggested to DC are not happening, and now I feel like a selfish prick because
Well,
there were things happening behind the scenes that I wasn't aware of. So like, and for 3 weeks, I've been complaining. I'm like, I gave you guys the mapping for Justice League, for JLA. How dare you not use my mapping and change it? But there were things happening that I wasn't aware of. So there's people lives now that have been affected by all this. And as somebody that's been laid off more than one time, it fucking sucks. There is no other way to put it. Like it sucks to be fired, especially on a Monday.
yeah.
Fires people on a Monday, man. So that's how I heard about all this stuff. Like I was like, what? And then before I knew it, things started, going on Twitter and everywhere. People started messaging me. Have you heard about this? And all I know is I got 2 emails from people saying goodbye, and I had no idea the big like ramifications of
Oh,
what was
yeah.
happening.
Well, yeah, because it just blew up all over Twitter, and I was like, okay, what is happening? And then I put it together, and I still don't even know. I mean, like, I do my best to research throughout the day as
Mm-hmm.
much as I can at work. But, we still don't have a huge idea of, like, who exactly is there, who's not, right? It's just, there's a lot of outpouring of love and support from the rest of, like, the comics community right now for them. Um, and it's awful. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, my dog is like.
It's okay.
But
We
yeah,
can use a little
it's
humor.
but yeah, it's just it's sad, and it's not their fault, and like sure we've shown frustration with DC, right? We didn't know, and it
Mm-hmm.
may be that those like frustrations were valid and not did everything to do with this too. I mean, we don't know that, but like regardless, you and I both are huge DC supporters. We're huge DC fans, and I've said I think even recently on a live show that I'm a DC fan first before everything else, and I would never want anything to happen, to any of these people working there. And it's rough, right? And we're looking at like what the collected editions department completely is gone, right?
Okay,
Too.
so
So
well,
sorry, I was jumping the
no,
gun
no,
about.
no, 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 no. That's okay. So yeah, part of the reason I wanted to do this is to talk about the things that we do know, and then there's lots of rumors which are more than likely true, sadly, and then there's a lot of speculation, and that's one of the things I wanted to do was like assure people, just like when Diamond decided to shut down and things like that, that this isn't the end of the DC Comics line. Like, they made a lot of mistakes, and what we do know so far is that, I guess, the WB for a long time has been trying to trim down the size of the comic books. I mean, it's fact, right? It's not a rumor. It's just one of these things that whenever you're bleeding money, you got to trim the fat, and part of that is the DC Comics. Then later on there were rumors about DC not even wanting to publish comic books anymore, which led into the whole, well, we're going to start our own distribution center. We're not even going to deal with Diamond anymore. And then HBO Max came out. They were not happy with the numbers. I remember talking to Amanda about this. Like, they weren't happy with the numbers, right? So they were like, we need more people doing digital. We need more people doing more digital media. And in order to do that, they were like, well, how about, we make the DC app part of HBO Max? There was rumors about that happening, which I don't even know why in the world they didn't just make that whole transgression into HBO Max and call it something else instead of...
Or just let the DC Universe app be just comics as well.
Yeah. So a lot of names, are everything but confirmed, like, that have been axed, sadly. There's a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of creators on Twitter right now, pouring out their heart for people that have lost their jobs. I think there's a tweet from, or a message from, from Joe Quesada himself, like, talking about, yes, we're different companies, but in the end, we make the same product, and it's never a good sign when things like this happen.
Oh yeah, and a lot of our favorite comic creators, of course, it's not like they're on one side or the other. They've been at both. They've worked for both, right? So many of them, and that's their colleagues and their friends, and it's hard because everybody. I'm keeping Twitter open right now so I can
No, it's okay. Please.
make sure I in case I catch something that I've missed, but it's rough, and you have a third of DC's editorial team have been laid off.
Well, like I said, I know 2 of the collected editions department people I used to deal with are now gone for sure. Mm-hmm. And then there are 3 more people that I've talked to that are part of the rumor that are gone, and that sucks. That's everyone that I've ever talked to at DC, whether it was them pointing fingers at, like, oh, you need to talk to so-and-so's got you in the collected editions. If it's true, then they're all gone. And if everything is true that's happening, like, it's crazy, because it's all leading to what a lot of people are speculating, that they're just wanting to get rid of physical comics and want to go straight to digital, and which would push the drive of people subscribing to things like HBO Now so they can compete with Disney Plus and Netflix, right? Mm-hmm. Which I don't want that to happen. And now there's, I think the latest rumor, and some people have pointed out already, is that they're going to be distributing graphic novels and collected editions through IDW.
That's what I've been hearing too.
Right? That's the big rumor that started this morning. Nothing's confirmed yet, right? Everything's speculation, too. We're just...
Yeah, and Ben Frank mentioned, this really sucks with DC fandom coming up. And that's one of the first things I thought about, because that was an event, that I've been really excited for, because I was like, well, maybe we can even, this could be like our E3. We can, live tweet it and stuff. And this is going to be an interesting event amidst this. It's going to be hard.
I will say this is what sucks, is that a lot of that stuff has already been recorded. Meaning that the pre-recorded sessions you're going to see at DC Fandom, people are going to be happy because they had no idea they were going to lose their jobs, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of shitty if they did that, knowing that this was going to happen, right? And of course, when things like this happen, it comes from the top. Nobody really knows. They recently lost their HR person. So a lot of it has been like, you have to keep quiet. I'm sure there's severance packages, lawsuits about, things that you can't say. So it's crazy. What's IDW? Transformers and TMNT, man. That's like their best comics they have. Now that's the whole digital move is just, it's a big rumor right now, right? Like that's just speculation because of everything that seems to be going that way. For the longest time, DC has made a lot of decisions that have not been good for retailers, including the big shift into 3 different distribution centers. Retailers are not happy with that for the most part. I don't speak for all retailers, but from what I've seen in the DC page, like they were not happy with that move.
Yeah.
And if they go to digital, that's another like middle finger to the comic shops. If they do something like that, that is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like then that really, that would be the end of most comic shops as you know it, because all they would have to sell is like 90% Marvel. They got Image Comics, and in the whole, all of this really began with WB and AT&T. Right when they came in on board, they
Yeah.
put people in charge that were rumored that had no idea what to do with comics. Right, so one of the first things they did was like get rid of Karen, uh, Karen's Vertigo. They were like, Vertigo, why are we paying? Why are we sharing property rights with people that are creating content for us? No, Fables doesn't belong to Bill Willingham, and they're like, our characters belong to us. We need to cut that right now, and that was the big move for the Black Label, right? Still,
Mm-hmm.
DC's characters 100% belongs to DC, so they no longer have to give any creative rights to like some of the people that created the Vertigo titles. And then things started happening more and more that you saw, oh man, they really don't care about, because I mean, and then a lot of those people that left Vertigo, Karen went over to Dark Horse, of course, to form the Karen, the Burger universe. I can't remember what it's called. And then a lot of those people, creators, went to Image because that's what they were doing. Um, so it's been a really strange 24 hours, to say the least. And right now
Mm-hmm.
they're having meetings. Apparently, a lot of people are finding out what their new roles are going to be in their departments. And I know no one in the collected editions department. That's, if rumors true that all those people that I've seen on the list are gone, then I know no one in the collected editions department.
Yeah. It's important for everybody in chat to remember, like, we don't know either. And I
Right.
don't think a lot of us are really going to know what this is going to look like for a while, because, this isn't just like a DC only. Like Omar said, this is a complete restructuring among Warner Brothers, right? So Warner Brothers itself has a lot of like top execs that aren't working there anymore. And so we don't really know what this is going to look like, because this isn't like a DC focused change. It's a way above their heads change. So I don't, it's unfortunate, because I don't know if they're going to have people that are mindful of these properties or not, or if there's then I just hope that, like, it's just not being used to mine for IP.
Ugh.
Like, that's my biggest worry. Um, that would be hard for a fan. As a fan, I think it'd be hard for a lot of creators that have dedicated a lot of their life to DC.
There was a tweet a few years ago, and I cannot remember who it was. It was a comic book artist that put it in. The simple terms are, DC makes more money out of a Batman kite
Yeah.
than out of a Batman comic book. And if you're looking at executives, at people that have no business in the comic book industry at all, then you look at that and they're like, why are we even publishing comic books? We already have what we want. We have the characters. We just make movies. We have, what, 80 years plus years of stories we can base our movies on and borrow from. Do we really need to keep publishing comic books? The one good thing, I looked at this. I do a Saturday show, as you all know, and I was looking at numbers of collected editions, and last year was huge for collected editions in 2019, and a lot of the sales came from bookstores too. Which is, you look at it and you're like, that's awesome. I love omnis. I love collected. I love trade paperbacks. But then it's kind of scary too, because if you're doing that, if you're getting your sales from bookstores, then what's the point of the direct market, right? Keeping the fans alive like myself that love a weekly comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's going to be interesting to see the decisions that they make, because comics have been ahead, right? Like they're ahead. We've looked at solicitations for 2021, and there have been no changes.
Yeah.
So all of it, I will say, this Thursday will be telling, at least for someone like me, because this Thursday, like much everybody else on the internet, is when I get an email from one of my contacts at DC, and it's like, here's the solicitations for November of 2021. Here's the files. Have at it. And if that doesn't show up, like I don't, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what that means for things if we're gonna. I don't know. And there's not a good
would it be
answer.
IDW now handling the collected editions? Like, hey, here we go. Here's your Golden Age Batman that originally was supposed to be published by DC. It's going to be now distributed through IDW and Penguin Random House, so we no longer have to deal with Diamond at all. You know,
Yeah.
so it's an interesting time right now for DC because a lot of people are like, if they go digital, that means they will be the first to go purely digital weekly and go to collected edition, the big out of the
Man.
big two, right? And does that mean that would Marvel follow suit? And if that's true, then that definitely ends the comic book stores, which
Yeah.
sucks.
And really, I think the only way you can do that successfully and make money is like, because I would never buy issue by issue digital. That's just not me.
Hmm.
Like, if you want my money, have me pay a certain amount every month for regular digital releases, like, like I do on Viz for Shonen Jump or something. But like, that would I just can't see it working for people like me, anyways. And I guess people like us.
Well, there's a collector's mentality when it comes to buying these things. We love physical
Yeah,
media. We
yeah,
love having a single issue, whether you plan on, flipping it, having it CGC'd or whatever. There's a certain need for physical media for I don't speak for everybody, but like, and it's not just people my age in their 40s or people your age in their 20s. Collectors are from across the board.
yeah.
There are older people that like digital media too. So, and it's so weird because what 3 days ago or so, maybe last week, was it Disney? Disney came out and said we will no longer be doing any more physical media for Disney movies, right? Not Disney animated movies or probably their big movies like the Marvel movies, but physical media as far as like the Disney line, like Escape from Witch Mountain and things like that, because they want everybody doing digital. They want everybody going into Disney Plus, and it's so weird that that happened last week, and then this happens, and then the news, everybody's breaking news of like everything's going digital.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm still buying my Man of Steel hardcover. As much as I hated it and complained that I wanted an omnibus, I'm still gonna buy the hardcover. Like, I love physical media and I don't want it to go away. Now, honestly, I don't think it's going to go away as people speculate. People love to speculate the worst of things when these things happen. They're like, oh, all these people got let go. Bob Harris pulled in a lot of talent. And I know there's a lot of people that are Bob Harris are like, good, screw him. But Bob Harris also pulled in a lot of talent for the creative side of things, and he did a lot of shitty things with the whole Eddie Barganza garbage that went on. But he was always a good talent pool. At Marvel, it was really weird to hear that name Bob Harris because I thought he just disappeared. But at Marvel, he was there during the best of times and the worst of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like the best, the most comic books ever sold in one year, and then the worst, like, oh, we're gonna have to declare bankruptcy. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, this is really hard to go through, and seeing people lay off is very difficult, and I really
Yeah,
go out to them. There is a chance that this restructuring could lead to a nice, productive. It could be a catalyst for productive change in the company for
yeah,
DC, and that
absolutely.
is possible. And that would be the best case scenario. That out of this comes a smarter business plan going forward that leads to smart decisions because there hasn't really been these past few years. That's true.
Hmm.
We've talked about it, um, and hopefully that's something that can help it grow and we bring back people, and that would be my ideal. Fingers crossed on that. But
I think it's good to remain positive through these times, though, right? Every bad news, people expect the worst. Like everything is gonna end. DC's gonna pull the plug on all their titles, except for, oh man, I've just seen and read so much. And I'm like, we don't know. I don't know. I'm sure people that are working at DC also don't know what's gonna happen.
oh no, from what I see on Twitter, like nobody really knows what's
Well, and that goes
gonna
back to the
happen.
whole contract, right? Like they have to keep quiet for the most part,
Yeah.
unless they're ending business with somebody that they worked with on a personal level, I guess. Um,
Yeah, you're right. It's just harder news to take right now amidst everything because everything is hard and everything is difficult and sucks. And it's like this happens too. It's hard not. It is hard to look at the positive of that amidst everything else in this crazy world right now. So for comic book fans, like, oh gosh, another one, another thing, right?
thank you so much for bringing this up. DC Collectibles, their DC collectible line, the like the statues and the action figure line. Like, the list that I saw, that was everybody. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
that ends that line. Yeah. Um, Now I don't know if that's because McFarlane stepped in and was like, "Look what I can do with my action figures," but you know, Omar, DC screwed up one too many times. Too bad. This is corporate Darwinism. I will say that I how about this? I will say that for the last for a long time since I've come back to comics, um, they how about for the last decade they've been making a lot of mistakes ever since. And I hate to say this, but ever since the New 52, it feels like DC just cannot recover from that. Whether it's sales, whether it's the trust that they had at one time with their fellow, their fans, it feels like ever since the New 52, they haven't been able to bounce back. So I guess we will see.
Yeah. And really, that's all I even have to say about it because, like, I
Yeah.
don't
So we'll take it
know.
to the chat. See what are your all's thoughts. We wanted to make this an open conversation with everybody. Just let us know your thoughts. We'll be reading them and then talking back to all of you and what our thoughts are.
Real quick, no, there hasn't been word yet on DC Universe. Although I imagine now that this
Yeah.
has happened, we'll hear about that sometime soon because their most recent show, their newest show just ended, too. Well, I guess maybe not. Doom Patrol still going, but
Though that's on HBO now, though, right? Not
yeah,
part of the DC Universe app
but it's
anymore.
also on the app, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't had it
Oh,
in
it's also
a
on the
while.
app.
Okay.
I imagine we'll hear more about this soon, though. I think, you know, so far we just hear about the layoffs. We don't really hear about the next business plan for
Yeah,
DC.
but
So I think we'll probably hear more about that as it goes, and maybe we'll hear about that at Fandom. I don't know.
I will
That would
say
be a
that.
bummer to talk about.
Well, somebody, Andrea said, like, yeah, DC fandom's going to
Yeah,
be awkward when
yeah,
you're
for
watching
sure.
it. Those things are going to be pre-recorded. So everybody that's smiling and stuff doesn't realize they're going to lose their job during that recording, which is so fucking weird. Um, Seems like a good idea to hold on to those DC Omnis now. DC Universe is canceled. So if the list is true, then it is gone because everybody that worked for DC Universe has been laid off.
Man, I
If that
really
list
like
proves to be
it.
true.
I've bragged about that app lately because man, it's just easier to use than Marvel Universe. Like they really got it right as far as like how to use an app to read comic books.
Hmm.
And Marvel's so bad. It's just so bad. It's ugh, I'll be sad to see it go.
As someone that doesn't really read digital comics, that doesn't really affect me. Well,
I
I guess
know.
it
But
might though. If
well, there's a lot of
it's,
stuff on there that I don't have access to, right? So like if somebody didn't get their Gail Simone Wonder Woman omnibus, don't worry. That's all in the app. All the Titans on the app. Like they had a great amount of resource of books that I could not get collected.
yeah,
I mean, I got
I
the
got you.
omnibus. I'm cool, but
Should
still.
I dump my savings account and buy every DC book I want? No, 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 no. Don't think this is a Chicken Little scenario with the skies falling. It's just literally us talking about what has happened, and to catch people up because Leandro Elias, I like your name. Can you please summarize for those that got here late? Sure. Yesterday afternoon, I got two emails from two of my contacts in the collected editions department at DC, letting me know that they were let go and we won't be working together. And I thought it was really weird that it was two people. One of them did say though that there's going to be a lot more news breaking out, and I'm sure you'll hear about it. And Holy crap. I think I went to have dinner with my family and then my phone was blowing up with people from messages. Have you heard about this? Did you hear about this at DC? What do you think? And I had no idea that it was going to be so many people. So pretty much across the board, HBO, Warner Brothers, and DC laid off, according to the Hollywood Reporter, about 800 people. Holy crap! That's insane. That's a lot of people that lost their jobs. So that sucks. And a lot of those people have been there forever too, like 30 plus years, 35 plus
Oh yeah.
years.
I may or may not make it to DC fandom. Will you guys make a video explaining what me and other people miss? I'm really considering it. I'm not sure the best way to do that because with events like this, it's always nice to do like a live commentary, but that's not always feasible. But I think it would be nice to do a wrap up video at least with announcements and just so you have like a one stop place you can go to when it's over to catch up. If you're interested.
Yep.
I just volunteered us.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm in. I didn't get my Gail Simone WW omnibus, Wonder Woman omnibus, and I'm still worried. I needed physical format to go with the rest of my omnis. Um, yeah, that one's out of print, and I have no one to talk to anymore about when it's coming back. At least before, when I emailed somebody, they would either give me silence or at least give me I
Yeah.
don't know, Omar, you're talking to the wrong person. But now I literally have no one. I'm in the same boat you guys are in until someone reaches out to me going, hey, you used to be so and so's contact. I'm new here. And I hope that, not that I hate to hear anyone losing their job. So let me clarify that first. But I hope I do get that. Like, hey, we are continuing the collected editions department. This is the new people. We're changing the whole crew and we're picking up with Starman Omnibus. That's just me being selfish for everybody else. But I hope that does happen. I hope they continue and I get an email like that. So I heard about this too. Jim Lee State apparently demoted. So I heard that his assistant and all assistants got let go.
Yeah.
Which, of course, when it's coming from the top, that sucks. And if you've ever met his assistant, he's a really nice dude. Any convention that I ever went to, he was there. He started off with him at Wildstorm when they were over at Image. Like, he was a really nice dude.
That's going to be rough because if anyone's worked at any business, administrative assistants are the backbone of a lot of these companies.
Right.
So
yeah, so AT&T, thank you so much, first name, last name. New CEO trying to look like he's cleaning house. That's exactly what this feels like, a big move. And then what worries me is they're looking for somebody from esports. Did you read about that?
Yeah, and
To take over and get rid of the editor-in-chief position as a whole?
I read about that, and that's just really odd, and I'm not really sure the reason.
Yeah.
Except for, esports is hot now, everywhere, sure. Even in academia, where I am. But that doesn't make sense. Are you trying to do an esports thing with DC properties? Because why? I mean, Injustice is good, sure, but calm down. I don't know. And I don't know if there's a way that because of the way that they run their businesses, that would be advantageous to running DC, but it just seems really odd.
Jim Lee did not get demoted, according to my buddy Roberto Rodriguez. The last thing I heard, again, everything is rumors right now, is that he did get to keep his position, but it's shifting, it's changing. He doesn't have creative control over everything.
So that's bleeding cool saying that. So
okay, you all know how. Well, here's the thing. You all know how I feel about Rich, especially when he doesn't credit me on my videos. But anyway, that's another story. He does know people on the inside, though. I will say that about him.
Okay.
And as shitty as the rumors are, he kind of knows what's happening more than probably most of us. I'll give him credit where credit is due. I always do. But, damn. It's going to suck if all those names on his list are right. Jeff Johns should step up. I don't know. I think he's happy where he is. Sadly, right? Because I'd love for Jeff Johns to come back. Pre-New 52 Jeff Johns.
I know.
Love that, but
yeah, I think he's doing good work where he is, and all of his fans were always. It's almost like he's this shining figure, right? That's like Knight that's going to show up and save the day. So like, please, Jeff, come back and save us. But he's probably in a better place than he could be at TC right now. Could you imagine?
Yeah, Well, and honestly, he is where he went, what he went to school with, what he always wanted to do. You know, he wanted to make movies, and so he is there. Will this lead to another artist exodus to independent comics like Image artists almost 20 years ago for better creative control? I think that's already happened with things like the ending of the Vertigo line. I was stating earlier that that was one of the big first moves was why are we sharing creative rights with these creators? We could just make our own property, and that's where the whole DC Black Label came in. They got rid of Vertigo, so they no longer have to share any property rights when they make movies and things like that.
Hey, real quick, for some people in the chat, I've seen like a couple of like comments or questions that aren't related to the topic right now. Just so
Hmm.
we do see them, I do understand, but I would prefer that you leave that to Saturday when there's a general Q&A. Just try to keep this video on topic.
Thank you.
To talk about it, and also as in respect to the people that have been laid off, I'd rather just leave it to this topic. So if we haven't answered, haven't looked at something, that is why.
Sad. I was really enjoying the DC Universe app, and a lot more collected editions are going to be canceled. Well, we don't know that. Like I said, I
Yeah.
think a lot of them, the cancellations of those collected editions were due to pre-sales, right? Like DC, the way they ran ship is
Mm-hmm.
not like Marvel. Marvel, it feels like Marvel's like, we're gonna do this collected edition and it's wonderful, right? Whereas DC is like, we're gonna do a Starman omnibus. And then somebody up ahead was like, what's Starman? That's not Batman or Superman. Like somebody above made the decision to cancel that. It wasn't really up to the collected editions department. They had to come in and show, look, this is how much trade paperbacks sell as opposed to these big thick books. And I think a lot of that came from up above. So I don't know if there will be any more cancellations than we've already had. If anything, because those books are already on the schedule, not only for the direct market, but the book market, which is important because, as I mentioned earlier, the book market is where they showed they had the strongest sales,
Mm-hmm.
not just DC, but everybody across the board at bookstores. So if it's already in the catalog, meaning bookstores have, placed a bunch of orders already.
Um,
Here's a great comment. I hope this doesn't affect the Stargirl show. Don't sleep
well,
on it. It is amazing.
it is amazing. It's already been greenlit for another season, so that's safe. And it's going to CW as well, so that's not something you have to worry about since it's already like right
I
now it's
can't
on
believe it's on HBO Max, honestly.
it's on DC Universe and CW right now, and we'll go purely to CW next season. So I think that's going to be fine.
I'm mostly just listening and not really commenting, Omar. You don't have to. I know there's people that just listen. Um, so if that's good that it's been renewed. I need my Lucifer Volume 2. I feel you, brother. I need my JLA Omnibus. I've been wanting that for 14 years. I need my JLI Volume 2, which was delayed in, well, my contact there last week told me it was just moved to another date. So we don't know exactly.
Brain Games, why don't they sell off their properties instead of closing things down? Especially if they've already made it clear in the past that they want to get out of the business. The big thing is the IP. You're talking about the property of these characters. They still would like ownership of, So you think about like Batman and Wonder Woman. They're still making big movies. You still have animated series. You have merchandise, right? So for them, there's no reason to get rid of that, even if they decide to stop comics. It would be a bad money decision to not continue those.
I mean, what they could do is very similar to what Hasbro has done, and what kind of Marvel did in a way, is lease some of the characters out, like when Marvel did it with Image creators back in the when was that 1996, right? They could do something like that, but we're talking the whole shebang, right? Unless they just want to keep it to the holy trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I don't know.
And there's some questions in the chat like, is this going to come out? Is this coming out? We don't know. I mean, like you can say what's solicited, but I mean,
How
as far as what's being carried out for sure.
how about this? We know it's not business as usual, but that's not totally a negative thing. On Friday you'll know more if I have a video that says upcoming collected editions from DC in November. Because if we don't have that, then that means they're thinking about things, right? Whether it's like, okay, from this moment on going forward, IDW is now handling our collected editions. I don't know, but if it's already in the catalog, I seriously doubt it's going to be a clean slate like that. I'm thinking it's more like starting in June of 2021, IDW will be handling the distribution of collected editions. So, because I don't think they would go ahead and pull the plug on it right now. We're close to 400 in the chat. Has that ever happened? Yeah, when
Probably.
I did one of the Marvel solicits, there were like 420 people. And I thank you all for watching, by the way. Don't forget to hit like button. I hate to say that during like a crappy video that's like people lost their job. But, you know, a lot of us have been there.
Atomic Hound, I think it's still possible this could be a long time coming thing.
Yeah.
I think there's been writing on the wall for this, and I think a lot of people that work at DC say the same. It certainly doesn't help, but I don't think that was the only factor.
I think it sped things up, or they can just use it as an excuse because of the pandemic.
It's a perfect excuse. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. What's that shirt? This is Bobble Bobble, by the way. I know it's not related to the show, but it is Bobble Bobble. It's one of my favorite games growing up. Elliot, I'm going to ignore that question or that comment.
Well,
I don't want that to happen.
No, I think a lot of people have said that they want DC to be bought by Disney, but a lot of people that like Congress like, please just stop. They're like, please don't say anymore. I think I read one tweet today. It was like, I will punch somebody in the face next time they say it.
But competition is always good.
Yeah.
Right? Competition is wonderful. Keeps people on their toes. You start getting more creative. You know, I think it's good. Is Marvel doing better this year than last? Ooh, that's hard to tell because of the pandemic. I know that graphic novel sales went up, of course, because that's the one thing that they were still trying to. That's the one thing that kept selling at the book market, right? So places like Amazon was still getting books, Barnes and Noble, physical bookstores were still happening. And Disney just bought Fox for a gazillion. Is that even real? That's not a real number. But yes, they did. And they have way too much. Like, one thing I did go back to my point about if DC does decide to use someone like IDW, which is the current big rumor right now because they've been also going through a shift at IDW. Mm-hmm. What does that mean for the titles that are leased out from Marvel and Disney to them, like the Disney stuff that they have? Does that mean that Marvel will pull the plug on that and lease it to another company, like back to Dark Horse or Boom? You know, it's pretty interesting. I find that kind of stuff really interesting because it's like, yeah, you guys can keep doing the Disney books. You know, we'll focus on the Marvel superhero stuff. See if they are going to put more weight into making movies and streaming app. I hope they finally get it right. They are all over the place with that content. And Jamie or Jaime, I will say that one of the things that really bugs me is the name of these apps. HBO Max should not have been called HBO Max. It should have been called something that makes you think, you know, not just HBO but comics too, right? Like, I guess it's not too late to change it. If they do bring in the DC app of like reading comics, it's not too late to change it to, I don't know, Warner Brothers and comics or something. I blame this all on Didio. Yeah, that's right. You know what? I think Didio, I don't think he's really to blame, honestly. I think he, if anything, that was the start of a lot of things. Getting rid of him was probably the start of a lot of things happening over there.
Yeah, I really feel like a lot of this is above DC's head. Personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, we've complained about some of their decisions, absolutely. But keep in mind that we don't always know what's happening behind the curtain, right? So, yeah. Like, I don't know how much of, like, this is, like, an overhead WB decision that affects how they can do their work, right? We don't really know.
Yeah. So it feels like, back to the point of Didio, like, it feels like this has been a long time coming. It's just now everything because using the excuse of the pandemic and all that. They're just it's just being done. Hey, Uncanny Wonder people just popped in. What have I missed? What does it all mean? Do I need to bring those Wonder Woman trades that Maddie talked me into?
I need to
Uh,
pick up some of mine, honestly.
yo, Omar, first time catching the stream. What a bummer of news. I just started collecting DC Comics last month. Your collected timeline videos are a godsend for a newbie like me. First of all, thank you so much. Second of all, I love your Iron Fist picture you've got.
Real quick, we have a
And we
super
have a.
chat by B Man's World. Thank you very much. Never got the hate for New 52. Was reading the most DC during that time, and I feel like the initiative brought in a lot of new readers. I agree.
Well,
I
I
think
was
there's
going to
good
say,
and bad things, but I really New
you
52
like
worked
New
for me.
52.
Yeah, I liked a lot of New 52. I'm a huge Rebirth fan.
Hmm.
Most first and foremost, that's when I came in. But I've been really thankful for how easy it was for me to go back and read through New 52 titles.
Right.
And there's a huge variety, good or bad. There's a huge variety of stuff in New 52 to pick up. And I really enjoy, even now, picking up random New 52 stuff because it'll take me forever to get through any of that when I'm out at like stores.
Yeah. I think sales wise, like a lot of older fans walked away with New 52. They didn't like the direction they were going. A lot of people were unhappy with the take, like their take on Superman, their take on Wonder Woman. I think, hell, Batman comics still sell regardless of who's writing Batman, it feels like. So I don't think they were affected. But the sales on Superman and Wonder Woman were really low. And I love the take on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I love that Brian Azzarello and who was the artist? Was it Cliff Chang on
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of that. That's one of my favorite reboots or one of my favorite Wonder Woman stories. But a lot of fans were not happy with it. A lot of older fans, rather. And older fans tend to speak with their money, so they went elsewhere. Or just started buying the Golden Age Omnis that they had fond memories of. I just got the New 52 Superman statue. Can't wait to get him. Yeah. Even Grant Morrison couldn't bring people to love the New 52 Superman. I don't know why. They'll be back. Now, here's a good positive message. They'll be back. DC will rise again. Just let this pandemic end. I think most of us can agree with you, by the way, about this. Just letting this damn pandemic be over, man. If anything, that's the kind of news we need. But I'm on the same boat, I try to stay positive with a lot of things, and I don't try to add to the negativity that's already going on because, like I said, everything right now is speculation. Anyway, lots of rumors. I like to think that, yeah, at the end of the day, we're still going to have DC Comics. They're going to be competing against Marvel. One day we're going to have a DC versus Marvel, and one day I'll get my DC versus Marvel omnibus. But that's just me. Hope for the best.
And all we can do is really help, remain hopeful. I mean, we don't have any other option.
Right.
We're not directly involved, except we can keep buying books, and we can obviously, once we have an idea of who's still there, who's not, find ways to support the careers that we love, right? That we're unfortunately unable to continue with DC, right? So we do have that option as consumers, but that's the most we can do. It's just hope for the best and keep supporting the careers we love.
And a lot of those creators, I mean, this is their full-time job. So when you go to contract work, you lose insurance, which a lot of people don't realize. You got a family, and your kids rely on that insurance. I know, I've had to deal with it.
Yeah.
It is horrible here in the United States. Because I realize not everybody that watches this lives here, but you have to have health insurance. You need to go to the doctor. You need to take your kid to the doctor. So if you're a contractor, you don't get that anymore. You don't get 401k, which is your retirement plan. You don't have vacation days. It's just not good. Is it time to buy deluxe editions like Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman? I say it's always time to buy Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman. Because even if an omnibus comes out of that run, you're not going to get James Robinson's deluxe hardcover in it because DC has a tendency to stick to just creator-centric omnis. So
and they're nice deluxes anyway. So.
They're beautiful. I'm just the idiot that likes to double dip, and I'll be getting the Detective Comics omnibus when that comes out. Thank you, Daniel K. Hit that like button. We try to stay positive on this channel. Shit. USS shit health insurance. Canadian Invincible Comics is shaking his head at health insurance.
I
Yeah, I
know.
know, man.
And we can't even leave now. Stuck here.
What? Hold on. I'm sorry, Maddie. Greetings from Lima, Peru. Good vibes. Hope you're all. Yo soy de Lima. Yo nací en Lima, pero estoy viviendo acá en los Estados Unidos desde el 87. I was about to introduce. Damn, I was about to have a conversation with this guy. What's up, Dennis? That's where I was born, so I got excited. I'm from Lima, Peru. Did either of you guys foresee the DC event? You mean what's happening now? We talked a little bit about it, like when the pandemic started happening. They pulled from DC, from Diamond. You know, we always bring up the rumor that the WB has been trying to kill the comic book market at DC for a long time, and things like this happen, and damn, it just it adds to that rumor. En serio, hermano, yo nací en Lima, pero estoy acá desde los 87, so yo cuando tenía 9, 8 años me mudé acá. Bye, Leo. That's the first message I've seen from you. Surprise. Is Tinian on Batman? Then I'm happy. Tinian is still on Batman. Nothing has changed. I know that. Like, as far as creators, I think that's the next step they're looking at. They're looking at who to keep full time. Because, like I said, they save money if they go and make somebody a part-time or contract employee, which, a lot of people are like, well, as long as I'm still getting my book, right? But I feel bad for the creators. It sucks. Hey, Omar and Maddie, are they going to reprint stuff like Teen Titans by Jeff Johns? Right now, we don't know, man. Right now, I no longer have a contact as of yesterday with the collected editions department. If I hear from my regular other person that's still there on Thursday, I'll be happy to send an email and see if, what's going on. From Donna Nicholson, how do you get so many comics?
Well, you'll have to watch the rest of our videos and
see. Or age. Omar, stop that talking about me in Peruvian Spanish.
We have a super chat. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate what you guys and gals do. I hope and pray this leads to great things. Long live comics and long live DC. Hopefully. Yeah, same.
What a wonderful message. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Donna, same answer. You have to watch our videos.
Watch our haul, which I'm still waiting for.
It's called irresponsible spending and a lack of impulse control.
I know I have issues. I'm sure I can start a program with collectors. Hi, my name is Omar, and I have a collection problem. Like, I'm like that with everything. I remember when Disney movies were coming out on DVD.
You are hardcore.
Yeah, I am. That's why I don't get into.
You get one. If you get one thing from the thing, you have to get all the things.
I was gonna say, how many times have I cursed you out? Like when you show me, like, Omar, have you seen this Nendo droid of Slayer's character? And I'm like, no, don't show me, because I know if I get Lena inverse, I'll get the rest of the fucking sets.
Well, luckily there's only a few.
There's only like 2, 3.
Yeah.
3. Look at all these people speaking Spanish now. Look what I started. Muy bien. That's what I want to hear. I always get a kick out of Omar speaking Spanish. Yeah, me too. I'm being interviewed sometime next Thursday, and it's all in Spanish, and oh my God, I'm a nervous wreck. Because mi español es así. Because I've been living here for so long. I don't think in Spanish anymore. Now I have to, like, translate in my head. Saludos. ¿Tú estás en México? It's safer to be addicted to comics. True.
It's called Maddie buys books on live streams and no one can stop her. I did buy 2.
Just now?
Last night.
Okay.
Or last night. I was on last night. I've been on like every day.
You've been on every day on other channels.
I know. And so I'm like, I forget. But on Sunday I bought 2 books.
You bought 2 books. Cool.
Yeah.
I want to hear Maddie speak French, and I don't know if she even speaks.
Girl, I used to.
Well, there you go.
4 years, but it is gone. I can understand it, okay, but that's about it. I used to do like translation and everything, but I can't now. Chinese and Japanese, I'm okay, but I can't do French anymore. Sorry,
Look,
Ace.
meow, Nan. Can you read that?
No, I was talking. He's talking about cheese.
I don't
Do
know.
you
I
love
don't speak.
cheese?
I do love cheese. Um, well, Craig, he's saying absolutes could actually be all done now. We don't know.
Yeah.
Let's keep positive. Hopefully, things will come back. Things that we love to keep purchasing. So I love a lot of DC books, and there's a ton more they can make into Omni formats. Plug my own video where I talk about my top 30 most wanted DC books. Omar y Maddie, les mando muchos saludos. You can speak Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maddie's multi.
Shaberimasu.
That was Japanese.
Yeah. Uh, I do, but I'm super rusty.
He's asking if she speaks Mandarin.
Yeah, I'm super rusty. So, even though I work with Chinese people every day, so my listening is good, but I'm not as used to speaking.
Can you please tell me what videos to watch? Yeah, we do
Oh,
haul videos every month. I do a haul.
yeah,
Maddie did
I
a
dropped
birthday
one on
haul.
Sunday. So if you're trying to look as far as where we buy comics, a lot of instocktrades.com, cheapgraphicnovels.com, Amazon stores. It's just the amount of comics is just from spending a lot of money over a period of time. Really, that's
Yeah, I've
that's
been
it.
in the.
Or
I've been.
gifts.
Um, I am 42. I've been reading comics since I was 7, and I have been collecting collected editions since 2003. Yeah, 2002, 2003. So it's been a while. I've been collecting collected editions for a while. So that's why I have so much. Timmy Ray, I love your videos. Honestly, they have really gotten me through lockdown. Thank you, Timmy. I'm glad. Thank you so much. Those really kind words. We appreciate you. This is from Victor. Maddie, maybe you
I
could speak
cannot.
in
Man,
Russian
I
too?
would love to learn though. Oh my god. I would love to learn how to speak Russian. I think that'd be so fun. I love learning
I would
languages.
too. I
It
would too.
sounds so cool. Sounds
It
so cool.
it sounds awesome. I love it. Can you try not to curse? I can try. My wife has been trying to get me not to curse for a long time, but I can't make promises. But
Yeah,
I will try.
did we already curse? I don't even
I
remember.
think I dropped a couple of F-bombs. I always do.
Uh,
It's how I talk. ¿Qué de los libros Label de Negro? I think the Black Label line. I know the lady that kept her. There are 3 people that got their jobs that are as far as like collected editions. The marketing person, the person that's in charge of the DC Youth Young Adult line. That person got to keep their job, and there was some other editor that got to keep their job. And I don't know about the Black Label future.
okay, real quick. This is
Hmm.
not related, but I was waiting for today to wish Lionheart a happy birthday.
You
Because today's his
were.
birthday.
Today's your birthday. Happy
Yeah.
birthday,
Happy
Lionheart.
birthday.
Big
I hope
fan
you
of
got some
Chun
good
Li.
books. Sorry you had to hear bummer news today for your birthday.
Yeah, sorry, man. I hope things get better. So happy birthday. Where is that message from Peter? I just saw it. Oh, there we go. Hi, my name is Peter, and I'm a collector. Yeah, that's how we talk, man. Do you have any videos on tips on how to collect them? Probably, yeah.
Probably
So,
a little old.
yeah, I probably need to update that. Somebody suggested a really wonderful video idea, which is like, top 10 omnis for new collectors that
Yeah.
they can easily access and are still in print and can get to know a character that way. And I think I'm going to make that. So apparently the Black Label editor was fired. So if that's so, I don't know. I don't know what.
Have we ever done like a tips for buying stuff on a budget video? We've done something like that, haven't we? Or am I just imagining that because I used to do
No,
panels
we've
like
done
that?
panel videos, but I think it's important to do videos like that from time to time. I've done like what I do when I upgrade or how I sell my collected editions, but that's about 2 years old, 3 years old now.
Yeah.
So I probably need to update that because most of the time these days I just give things away. to our lucky winners like Omar Reyes.
Yeah.
DC Collected Editions needs to hire Omar, so the person Omar would need is to email this Omar. Uh it's I say they need somebody with a good head on their shoulders, as far as like good business sense, and also happens to be a fan of the stuff. I think that also
Yeah.
helps, right?
Absolutely. And I mean
You get
that's really where
somebody
it
like
comes
that.
in.
Yeah, you get somebody like that. I think you can do a lot with the collected editions because there's let me just looking at the stuff that I grew up with. Yes, they're doing wonderful with the Golden Age line, and I hope that never ends. But maybe try to shift the focus a little bit to things that people in their 30s and 40s grew up with, because they're a whole new market that you're not even trying to hit. For God's sakes, I'm doing a Batman reading order, and I realize there is a ton of Batman stories that have not been collected in omnibus format. We are now just getting no road to no man's land. We still got war games, war drums, fugitive, murder, like all these Batman stories that they could do in an omnibus format, and it's just sitting there. They're literally sitting on just printing money. But that I'm not going to complain about the DC collected editions department. Sorry, but I think a fan and somebody with good business sense would be an incredible, just welcoming addition to that team. Oh, Maddie's on mute. She don't know it yet.
Sorry. Ha. I don't speak Kansai Ben, but I do speak Hiroshima Ben. So that's like the dialect area.
Mr. Awesome, thank you
Thank
for reminding
you.
people. Smash that like button. Thank you so much. Let's hope for the best. Man, love this hobby so much. Same. I love your picture. What is that, Maddie?
I don't know. It was cool.
It looks like a Guillermo del Toro like drawing.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so DC Direct, sadly, that's one of the big things that I was talking about, like it's gone. So hopefully, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that side of things. We got a super chat. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Maddie.
Ludwig, thank you guys for all your great content. Your hard work is appreciated. Question: Jim Lee is still at DC Comics. What is his role now? I heard somebody in the chat say it was more like a creative, like consultant almost. I don't know.
If it's true that he got to keep his position, I pretty much his job would be like, hey, Jim, is it okay if we use this character in this movie? Is this still the spirit of the character? And Jim just says, yes, go ahead and use Superman in that movie. So if that's what he is, if he's still a creative consultant, then that's literally what that means. Omar, it's time for manga to take over. I mean, all they got to do is start releasing stuff in hardcovers. Look at the fans like myself that have been collecting manga, 30 plus years. We're ready for these hardcovers.
And honestly, for the manga industry, more of those special deluxes, because that's what I like to buy. And I want the other publishers like Viz and Shonen Jump to do a digital app as well, because I think that was the most successful move they could have made. Shonen Jump.
See, yeah, I was trying to think of where our fans can read Berserk without getting into the $50 deluxe editions, and I was like, I don't know if you can read it legally.
Well, I think both of us probably. I had to read manga illegally for most of my life because maybe I had it at the store, maybe I didn't. At least then I'm like, okay, at least I can legally pay for these and read them, and then decide if I want to buy whatever editions that come out later. It's just really smart.
Okay, so Jessica's saying that Jim Lee is a creative consultant. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Big signature editions are pretty good too, but think how much better they would be if they were in hardcover.
I know.
Right? How much prettier they would look on the shelf.
There's so many nice ones now.
Yeah, I need to do a list of my what I want to see in hardcover, especially my old ass has been reading these manga for years that I'm like, oh, they need to bring this back and make it hardcover.
Well, so many nice shoujo titles are being put into hardcover now as well, which is really great. Like Rose of Versailles. Yeah. I think Chobits is getting a new release.
Chobits just got one today. A buddy was sending me text. Bryant just sent me a picture. He got it at Barnes & Noble.
Man.
I can't wait to have that. I bought that freaking book like when it came out at Tokyo Pop, when it came out at Dark Horse, and now Kodansha has the hardcovers. That's all it took. Omar, tienes que hacer un video en español para practicar. Vamos a be practicando próximo jueves, next Thursday, when I'm doing an interview in Spanish. Woo.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna need that. Let's see. Never read any manga. Are they really worth
Yeah.
the read? Oh, absolutely.
I think it's
It's what
like
you find.
comics. Like if you're, I'll talk about the same way. Like if I'm recommending comics to people, I'm like, it's just a genre of media, which means it's there, or it's a type of media in which there are many genres. There's going to be one that's for you, and I feel like manga is the same way. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah. You
there's
find
a
it.
manga for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody is asking. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't find it. Okay, here we go. It's from Brain Games. Omar, why the obsession with big hardcover books? What's wrong with the small? Nothing is wrong with softcover books, but I like my favorite stories in the best format that I can have them in, right? As a fan of these things, whether it's X-Men, whether it's Berserk, or whether it's Batman or Fantastic Four, whatever it is, I want it in the best possible format that's available, and most of the time it's oversized format and hardcover edition with a nice little ribbon too. Sometimes when they add the ribbon, it's like icing on the cake. And yeah, if you haven't seen Rose of Versailles, it's a beautiful book from Udon. It
For
took
sales.
Damn it, did I call it Versailles?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you
Oh,
did.
Versailles, my bad.
We have a town in Kentucky called Versailles.
We have a castle in Versailles.
It should be
too.
pronounced Versailles, of course, but
Of course.
Versailles
Yeah.
is how it is here.
Hard, better than soft, always.
You guys, it's really hard not to make jokes about this.
It is. We're trying to watch our mouths. If you love comics, you'll love manga. I'm extremely new to it,
And she
it's
just
ridiculous.
read Utena.
Oh, you read Utena? Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that series, and they have a beautiful format of Utena too.
Wait, real quick. Nocturne, do you know Heisei Jump? Oh my gosh, there's some fun stuff in the chat.
Okay, is anything actually confirmed about the DC situation?
Not really,
No,
Clark.
the only confirmation is just those two people that emailed me saying goodbye, and that there's going to be a lot of changes at DC and expect more people to lose their job, which sucks. And the amount of people that have lost their job, right, across the board. I do like them thick, brother. Someone's been watching my shows. Yes, Uncanny Omar talk pretty one day. My comment was 100% joke. Oh, well,
Damn
you know
it.
what?
Well, I wanted to laugh at it too.
Answer it. I needed to answer it.
Oh, I cursed. My bad.
Omar, have you and the girls watched Five Deadly Venoms? Five Deadly. If so, what the girls' reaction? Five Deadly. Is it VR? No, I don't know what that is. Maddie's gonna look it up for me as my wonderful co-host. I hope, or she's ordering books.
Oh no, I was responding to Jesse's comment about One Piece.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have to jump off soon. It's getting late.
Yeah, I got you.
But if you guys have more questions, you're always welcome to join us again on Saturday during our live Q&A at 11. Also, we will be back here for Old Reader New Reader properly.
Yes, forgot to mention that
on
earlier.
Thursday at 7 p.m. So that didn't get canceled. We'll just be doing that on 7. And we'll be reading Journey into Mystery by Kieran Gillen. So
yeah, it's a wonderful story. I can't wait to talk about.
And if you guys haven't watched my haul video, I dropped that yesterday. So
yeah, it's a great haul video. You
bought a
should.
bunch of books and actually filmed it in my comic book room instead of in here. So that's work. And I filmed it 4 times until it finally worked. So
oh, what a devoted member of NMC you are. Thank you. Omar and Maddie, have you tried your hand at drawing or writing your? As a matter of fact, yes, I have. I hope to do something with that sometime.
Ace just shoot me a message on our social at Near MintCon on like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook.
Wait, no, I get to make a video. You gotta make a video about your favorite manga too.
That's fine, but I was talking to Ace directly.
Okay, well, how about
That's
this?
my girl, okay?
I'm not trying to pull your girl from you. I'm just saying that if I get called out to make a video, then you got to do your
Well,
top
I
20
would
video
love
too.
to. Yeah.
Because
I
ours is
mean,
going to be
and
so different, and
well,
maybe there's a
and
couple that'll be the same.
Tina needs to do one also.
Yes, yes. I was thinking of anime for her, but yes, of course. So, my haul video should be sometime this week, but I have four freaking packages since July 10th. That's a month that are just sitting somewhere, whether in Cincinnati or in Tennessee or even 30 minutes from me. I have no idea what's going on. I just hope like at least two of them get here before the weekend because I really want to make a haul video. Otherwise, I got nothing. Maybe a few books. Oh no, I got a bunch of manga. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up for the night. Thank you everybody for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Thank you to the chat for interacting with
Yeah.
us. Please don't forget to leave comments below. Please don't forget to hit like. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. If you're new to the channel, we do put out videos, sometimes 2 videos a day, such as today. So, Maddie, would you do us the honors of just signing us off?
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining. You already said most of the stuff, but
I
I'll
did.
add in that we do have a Redbubble if you're interested in sporting some near mint conditions stuff in real life. Also, we do have a Patreon through which you can vote for, our old reader, new reader pick of the month, reading orders, and more. So, thanks for joining, and we hope we see you guys soon. Oh,
Yep,
and stay safe. Wear a mask. Please wear a mask. Please. Over your nose. Over your nose. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And hopefully Saturday we'll have some more information too. So,
Yeah.
stay healthy.